Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. Big Six Simpson here. A little tour of Franschhoek, an historic little town just about an hour, just under an hour outside of Cape Town. Officially founded in 1688 and was a refuge to the French Huguenots who were looking for a bit of land to do their farming. And this was originally inhabited by the Khoisan people, the Bushmen. Who used to live in the mountains behind the village, which we'll be seeing a little bit later. But for now, down the main street, busy Friday afternoon, in the Prado 90, piloted by Rhino 1, following the Haval H9. Gorgeous roads here in great condition. Well, this one in particular. Some of the back roads are, well, they're back roads. Let's check out the brakes on the H9. I've spotted a shortcut, but I've never been down here before. Hoping for the best. But you're sure to get a picturesque view whichever way you look. There are some of the mountains. Not that tall, but majestic nevertheless. Suspension on the H9 is exceptional, I must say. It just soaks up the bumps. Pretty good build quality on that. Is this gonna connect up to the gravel road? We shall find out. Hooking on the brakes here, we're coming into a little single lane river crossing. No, not river crossing, it's a bridge, geezer. Farm workers are going home after a hard day's work, and some of the other assistants on the farm. Courteous driving by the locals. Where are we going now? Lap of luxury by the looks of things. This doesn't look like it's connecting. Enjoying the scenery nevertheless. Many wine farms in Franschhoek. If you're into fine dining, bottles of bubbly and fine red and white wine, Franschhoek has certainly got you covered. Some of the best wines in Africa. Not the cheapest place. It used to be a bit of a backwater 20-30 years ago. Quiet little village, and then it became very popular due to its location, beautiful mountains, hot summers. You even get a bit of snow here in the winter. Plenty of rainfall. And with the Bridge International School, I think it's an international school, a lot of young families, upwardly mobile young families have chosen this as a place to live. Doing a U-turn here. Surprise, surprise, this wasn't the right road. Picturesque nevertheless. Come on, Rhino 1. Let's turn the ship around. There we go. I'm really impressed with the suspension on the Prado 120. Compared to the Fortuna, it's such you really, when you've got it as a camera card, you can really see which cars have the smoothest ride of the lot, and thus far the 120 streets ahead of anything else. The suspension just licks everything up for breakfast. hard on the right. Whoop, nothing wrong with the handling on the H9. Danced into that corner. I like a bit of body roll, and it goes 120 with a big V6 4 litre 180 kilowatts, more than capable of keeping up. I find the H9 to be a little bit underpowered. A 2 litre turbo, even if it's highly tuned up to 180 kilowatts, just doesn't have that pulling power. That's what I find interesting about the V8 4.5 litre D4D engine on the Land Cruiser. On paper it only says 150 kilowatts, but to drive that it feels over 200 kilowatts. It's really got a lot of guts, a lot of pulling power. So often I think kilowatts is more for sort of a performance indicator, whereas in 4x4 terms, torque and just raw guts is important when you got these big trucks. The Haval was averaging like sort of 13 litres per 100, which you kind of expect for a big car like that. It's pretty much doing the same fuel consumption as the Prado 120, which has the 4 litre V6, but with that you're not getting the sluggish acceleration. So I always find a big car with a small turbocharged engine is gonna be quite heavy on fuel. But having said that, it was still a pleasure to drive, and I think for 600,000 Rand, you're not going to get a car that offers that much kit. Back on the main road here at Franschhoek. Looking for another back road. Some beautiful establishments on the left. Lots of wine farms and restaurants. Hopefully this whole COVID thing can blow over and people can get to enjoy these areas again. Although having said that, it's been nice to not have a massive influx of tourists from a selfish point of view, but one does realize a lot of people rely on tourism for their livelihood. Majestic indeed. Crossing the old railway line. There's a nice pub there called a Station Pub in Franschhoek. I'd recommend. If you like a pint, got a good pub grub. The last 10 years properties become very, very expensive here, especially on the mountainside properties. They can go for over 10 million Rand for a small holding. Ernie Els had his farm here, Johann Rupert, the Rothschilds, so all the big old school money is here. But there's also a nice wilderness area, great hiking and mountain biking. We're going to check out some gravel now. Back with the H9. Piloted by yours truly. Loving the sunshine here. You see how smooth the 120 suspension is. This is a bumpy road, and normally the camera would be skewed by now. Not on the 120. I have noticed the price of the Land Cruisers has softened a bit in the last month or two, so if you're looking to get a cruiser, this is a good time to do it. And the 120 ticks a lot of boxes, especially if you're going to get the petrol one. Sure, they're heavy on juice, but very reliable. Yeah, we start opening up. It's the great yonder. You can imagine 500 years ago, Khoisan people living and hunting amongst these hills. And you can breathe a sigh of relief. We're onto the gravel, ladies and gentlemen. Always the favorite part. Once again, you can see how smooth the Prado 120 suspension is. Camera hardly moving. And we're doing probably a good 70k an hour here, 80k an hour. Solid as a rock. Majestic mountains in the background. I think this used to be a logging area back in the day, and now it's a catchment area for the dam. So it's nice to see these areas still looked after and in pristine condition. H9's gone. Kicks up a bit of dust, but the wind is thankfully going right to the left, so it's all good in the hood. So if you're looking for a little scenic drive, this area's got you covered. You can also go over the pass to Verleersdorp. Sometimes in winter you get snow as well. Lots of restaurants, wine farms, remote cabins. The start of the adventure route, you could say, from here through to the Cedarburg, Ceres, Matroosburg, and Nijsburg. What a wonderful country. What a wonderful road here. Prado's just eating up the dust. So we'll catch you next time on Africa Sideways. Peace.